The journey from habit to mastery is a path that we all must walk, whether we are conscious of it or not. Most people live their lives by default, carried by habits formed long ago, often without any real understanding of how these habits came to be or how they shape their reality. The truth is, most of us are walking through life in a kind of autopilot mode. We are responding to the world based on deeply ingrained patterns of thought, emotion, and behavior. It's like being in a maze, unaware if you want to create a new reality. Who designed you first walls. Have to break free from the old patterns. This is the beginning of transformation. You have to start with awareness. The first step is recognizing that who you are today is the result of past choices, and those choices were influenced by unconscious habits. These habits form the framework of your personality and your life. If you keep repeating the same actions, thoughts, and emotional responses, you're going to get the same results. You can't expect different outcomes by doing the same thing over and over again. It's easy to fall into a routine. Routine gives us comfort, but comfort doesn't lead to growth. Comfort doesn't allow you to break free from old patterns. And if you want to master your life, you need to begin by questioning your habits. Ask yourself, what thoughts am I thinking that are keeping me stuck in the past? What emotions am I feeling that are controlling my reactions? What behaviors do I keep repeating that are limiting my potential? These questions are the starting point for breaking free from your automatic responses. Now, the process of breaking free from habits isn't easy. It requires effort and discipline, but it also requires understanding the nature of habit. A habit is simply a learned behavior. It becomes automatic because the brain creates neural pathways that reinforce it over time. When you engage in a behavior repeatedly, the brain starts to conserve energy by automating that behavior. This is efficient in many ways, but it also means that we become prisoners of our habits. To create new habits, you must first disrupt the old ones. This requires conscious effort. You have to make a deliberate decision to change the way you think, feel, and behave. In the beginning, this may feel uncomfortable. It's like breaking a bad habit. You may want to slip back into familiar patterns because those habits have become so ingrained. But you must push through this discomfort. It's only through discomfort that growth happens. As you begin this journey, you will notice that change doesn't happen overnight. It's a gradual process. It's not enough to just think positively for a few minutes or take a few actions and expect transformation. True mastery takes time. You have to practice consistency and perseverance. Think of it like building a muscle. The first time you pick up a weight, it's difficult. The second time, it's still hard, but a little easier. By the 10th time, your muscles are stronger. The same is true for your brain. By consistently thinking new thoughts, feeling new emotions, and behaving in new ways, you begin to build new neural pathways. This is where mindfulness becomes critical. You must be mindful of your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions. Pay attention to the moments when you are on autopilot. When you notice yourself slipping back into old habits, stop, take a breath, make a conscious choice to do something different. This is the moment of power. This is where the transformation happens. It's in those small moments of choice that you begin to shift your identity. As you continue practicing these new behaviors, something incredible begins to happen. Your brain starts to change. Your neural pathways begin to rewire themselves. Instead of thinking the same thoughts, you begin to think new thoughts. Instead of feeling the same emotions, you begin to feel new emotions. And eventually your behavior begins to reflect this new thinking and feeling. You have rewired your brain. You've created a new personality, a new reality, and a new way of being. But this isn't the end of the journey. In fact, this is where mastery begins. Mastery isn't about simply changing a few habits. It's about becoming the person who has mastered their thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. It's about being in control of your life and your reality. When you reach this level, you no longer respond to life from a place of unconscious habit. Instead, you respond from a place of awareness, choice, and intentionality. At this stage, your mind and body are no longer at odds with one another. You've reached a state of coherence. Your heart, mind, and body are all aligned. When you think, you feel those thoughts in your body. When you act, your body supports your thoughts and emotions. This coherence is the foundation of mastery. It's what allows you to operate at your highest potential. As you continue on this path, you'll notice that your environment begins to shift. As you change, the world around you begins to reflect that change. Your relationships change. Opportunities begin to show up that you never imagined before. This is the power of transformation. When you change your inner state, the outer world changes as well. You attract new experiences, people, and circumstances that align with your new level of consciousness. But remember, mastery is an ongoing process. It's not about achieving perfection. It's about consistently choosing to live at your highest potential. Even when you fall back into old patterns, and you will, because that's part of the process, you get back up. You don't judge yourself. You don't beat yourself up. You simply recognize what happened, learn from it, and continue moving forward. This is mastery. It's about continuous growth and evolution. In fact, as you continue your journey, you'll start to notice something remarkable. The more you practice, the more effortless it becomes. The more you practice shifting your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, the more natural it feels. You don't have to work as hard at it. The new habits you formed become second nature. Your new personality becomes your default state of being. True mastery is about being able to create your reality at will. It's about consciously designing your life rather than living by default. You no longer allow your past experiences, your fears, or your limiting beliefs to dictate your future. Instead, you create your future with the power of your mind, emotions, and energy. You become a deliberate creator. This is what mastery is all about. It's about becoming the master of your own life, not in a controlling or rigid way, but in a fluid, conscious, and intentional way. You are no longer a victim of circumstance. You are the creator of your reality. And when you reach this level of mastery, life becomes a beautiful, ongoing journey of growth, discovery, and creation.
The power of the present. You see, the present moment is where everything happens, right here, right now. It's the only moment that truly exists.
You think about it, when you are fully present, your mind isn't wandering, your body isn't caught up in old emotional patterns, and your spirit isn't yearning for a past that no longer serves you. It's only in the present that you can create. The past with its memories and stories is nothing but a mental construct. The future with its worries and uncertainties is a projection that hasn't yet occurred. The only time that's real is the moment you're in. So let's talk about presence. When you are truly present, you are in a state of pure awareness. You're not distracted by what you see, what you hear, or what you think you should be doing. You are simply aware of what's happening right now without any attachment to it. There's a clarity that comes with this awareness, a stillness that allows you to tap into something much greater than your ordinary thoughts and emotions. But most of us live in a state of autopilot. We go through life constantly reacting to what happens around us, our environments, our thoughts, our habits. We identify with our memories, our traumas, our achievements, our desires. All of this distracts us from what's real. And the truth is, when you are consumed by past memories or future projections, you lose access to your power. Now, let's go deeper into this. Why is presence so important? Well, the key lies in the understanding that everything is energy. All of creation, all that exists, is made up of energy vibrating at different frequencies. This is not just some abstract concept, it's a scientific reality. Your body, your thoughts, your feelings, they all emit frequencies. The problem is that most of us, because we're not fully present, operate from a limited range of frequencies. We're stuck in the past or projecting into the future, creating emotional patterns based on old experiences. These patterns keep us stuck in survival mode, living reactively rather than creating a life consciously. But when you shift into the present moment, when you become fully aware of what's happening right now, you step out of that cycle. You stop reacting to life, and instead you start responding to it. And that's when you unlock your power. The power of the presence is the ability to free yourself from the automatic responses that have been programmed into your brain and body over years, sometimes even decades. You see, most of us live our lives with our brains on autopilot. We respond to things based on habits, based on emotional patterns, and based on what we've been taught to believe. This is a product of the subconscious mind, which operates roughly 95% of the time. So when you're not present, you're literally operating from a program your past. But when you become present, when you shift your awareness to the now, you start to break free from that program. You give yourself the space to step into new possibilities. In that moment of presence, you access a state of mind and body coherence that allows you to create from a place of pure potential, free from the limitations of your past conditioning. Let's consider the science behind this for a moment. Your brain is constantly firing electrical signals. These signals form patterns, neural pathways that govern everything from your thoughts to your emotions to your behaviors. And when you repeatedly think a certain thought or feel a certain emotion, you reinforce these neural pathways. This is how habits are formed. But here's the key: these neural pathways don't define who you are. They are just patterns. And the moment you become present, you begin to disrupt those patterns. You literally begin to rewire your brain. Think about it. If you've been in a constant state of stress, if you've been living with anxiety, fear, or self-doubt, those emotions and thoughts have become ingrained in your neural pathways. They've shaped the way your brain functions, and they've shaped the way you feel about yourself and your life. But when you bring your attention to the present moment, when you focus on your breath, when you feel the sensations in your body, when you release the need to control everything, you begin to create a new set of patterns. And this is where the magic happens. In the present moment, you can choose to let go of the past. You can choose to let go of the emotional patterns that no longer serve you. You can choose to create new neural pathways that are in alignment with your higher self. And this is how true transformation happens. When you step into the present moment, you move beyond the limitations of time and space. You no longer identify with your past experiences, your traumas, or your fears. You no longer react to the world around you as if it's something you need to control. Instead, you step into a state of flow. You align your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions with the highest possibilities available to you. You become a creator, not a reactor. Now, let's talk about the heart for a moment. The heart is an incredibly powerful organ. It's not just a pump for blood. The heart has an electromagnetic field that is far greater than that of the brain. In fact, the heart's electromagnetic field extends several feet around the body. When you bring your attention to your heart, when you focus on the love and gratitude you feel in your heart, you begin to synchronize your brain and heart. This coherence creates a powerful electromagnetic field that can literally influence the energy around you. And this is how you can start to shift your reality. When your heart and brain are in coherence, your body enters a state of balance. Your nervous system calms down, your stress levels decrease, and your body begins to heal. But more importantly, when you are in heart-brain coherence, you are in alignment with your true self. You are not reacting to the external world. Instead, you are responding from a place of love, compassion, and power. This is the essence of presence, alignment. When you are truly present, you are in alignment with your true essence. You are not attached to past emotions or future worries. You are not driven by your old patterns. You are simply being. And this is where your power lies. Now, let's explore the idea of time. Most people think of time as a linear progression, past, present, and future. But time as we experience it is a construct. The truth is that in the present moment, there is no time. Time only exists when we move our awareness out of the present and into the past or future. And this is why so many of us feel disconnected, as if time is slipping away, as if we're running out of it. But when you are fully present, you transcend time. You step out of the linear flow of past and future and enter into what I call the eternal now. In this space, anything is possible. There are no limitations. There are no constraints. There is no need to rush or hurry. You are in the flow of creation, where your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions align with the infinite possibilities of the quantum field. And when you live from this place of presence, you begin to notice synchronicities. You begin to notice that things start to happen in your life that seem almost miraculous. Opportunities arise, doors open, and people come into your life who align with your vision. This is not coincidence. This is the power of presence. Presence is the ultimate creative force. It's the space from which all possibility emerges. When you are present, you are in alignment with the energy of the universe. You are a conduit for creation, and through you, the world begins to shift. This is the power of the presence. It's not just about being in the moment, it's about being in alignment with your highest self, your true potential. When you are present, you become the creator of your reality. You are no longer a victim of circumstance, you are the author of your story. And this is the truth of who you are. To unlock your potential, you must first recognize that you are not bound by the limitations that you've been conditioned to believe. From the moment you're born, you are exposed to countless external influences, your family, society, your environment, and these forces begin shaping the way you think, feel, and act. From the food you eat to the conversations you hear, all of these inputs have a profound effect on how you perceive the world. And more importantly, how you perceive yourself. What most people don't realize is that this perception of self is what keeps them in a constant state of limitation. We are creatures of habit. Our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors often run on autopilot because we've been conditioned to react in certain ways based on our environment and past experiences. But here's the truth. When you stop living by the programming that governs your life, when you stop reacting to the same circumstances in the same ways, that's when you begin to tap into your true potential. Real transformation starts when you break free from those unconscious patterns and choose a new path, one that is driven by a clear, deliberate intention. Now, you might be thinking, but how can I break free from the patterns I've been living by for so long? How do I change my thoughts, my feelings, my habits? The first step is awareness. You must become conscious of the way you've been thinking and feeling, the emotional states you've been addicted to, and the behaviors that keep you stuck. If you don't know what's holding you back, you'll never be able to break free. Once you're aware of these unconscious patterns, it's time to make a decision to change. It's that simple, yet that difficult. You see, change requires courage. It requires a willingness to let go of the old version of yourself, the version that's familiar, that feels comfortable, even if it's not serving you anymore. The moment you decide to change, you are stepping into a new reality. You're stepping into the unknown. And the unknown is where all of your true potential lies. It's where the magic happens. But here's the thing. When you begin this journey of transformation, the discomfort you'll feel is your body's way of telling you that you're moving in the right direction. When you break free from old patterns, your body may crave those old emotional states because that's what it's used to. But this is the moment when you have to be the observer. You have to step outside of yourself and recognize that the cravings, the temptations, are just remnants of an old identity. The process of change, the process of unlocking your potential, it's not about force or willpower. It's about practice. It's about repetition. And over time, those new behaviors, those new thoughts, and those new emotional states will start to feel natural. You're essentially reconditioning your body and mind. You're creating new neural pathways in the brain and new emotional patterns in the body. This isn't just a mental shift. It's a biological shift. Your brain and body are rewiring themselves to align with this new version of you. And when that happens, you begin to live in a new state of being, a state where you are no longer held captive by your past, your fears, or your conditioning. But here's the most important thing I want you to understand. Your thoughts create your reality. What you think about, you bring about. Every thought you think is an energetic frequency, a signal that you send out into the quantum field. Now, the quantum field is this vast, invisible field of infinite possibilities. It's where all creation begins, and it's where your potential is waiting to be unlocked. But, the quantum field doesn't respond to your thoughts the way you think it does. It doesn't just respond to your desires. It responds to your feelings. Your thoughts, when combined with your emotions, create a powerful energetic force that has the ability to change your life into what you imagine. And this is where the real work happens. If you want to manifest your potential, you have to begin feeling as if you've already become the person you want to be. You have to feel the emotions that you would feel if you were already living your dream life. Feel the abundance. Feel the love. Feel the gratitude. But here is the key. You can't wait for those emotions to come from your external circumstances. You have to generate them from within. You have to begin living in that state now, before the material reality has shown up. This is the power of the heart. When your heart and mind are in coherence, when your heart and brain are working together, you create a powerful magnetic field that can influence the quantum field. Your heart has an electromagnetic field that is thousands of times stronger than the electromagnetic field of your brain. And when your heart is in coherence, when you are feeling those elevated emotions like love, joy, and gratitude, you begin to emit a frequency that aligns with your desires. But it's not just about thinking positive thoughts. It's about becoming the frequency of your future. You see, most people are living in the past. They're rehashing old memories, feeling the same emotions, and thinking the same thoughts over and over again. But in order to unlock your potential, you have to move beyond the past. You have to live in the future. And what I mean by that is that you have to begin thinking about the person you want to become, feeling the emotions of that person, and acting as if you've already arrived. Now, I know this might sound a little out there, but it's not. It's science. It's quantum physics. The universe responds to your energy. It responds to the frequency you're emitting. And when you're emitting a frequency that is aligned with your highest potential, the universe has no choice but to reflect that back to you. But here's the catch. The mind will fight you. The mind doesn't like change. It doesn't like stepping into the unknown. The mind wants to stay in its comfort zone, which is why most people stay stuck in their old patterns. But if you can overcome the resistance of the mind, if you can push past the discomfort, that's when the magic happens. That's when you begin to tap into your true potential. When you begin to connect with the quantum field, when you begin to feel the emotions of your future, and when you begin to take inspired action towards that future, you unlock the floodgates of possibility. Now, I want you to understand something very important. You are not just a physical body. You are an energy being, an expression of consciousness. And your true power lies in your ability to align with that consciousness. You are a creator, not a victim. You have the ability to create your reality. And that creation starts with your thoughts, your emotions, and your energy. As you begin this journey of unlocking your potential, there will be challenges. There will be moments when you doubt yourself, when you wonder if you're making any progress. But let me tell you this. Every time you show up for yourself, every time you push through the resistance and continue to embody the frequency of your future, you are shifting your reality. You are reprogramming your brain and your body to become a match for the life you desire. You are constantly sending out a signal to the universe. And when that signal matches the frequency of your highest potential, when that signal aligns with your desires, that's when you begin to manifest the life you've always dreamed of. And remember, this process is not about forcing anything to happen. It's about becoming the person who is already living the life you want to create. And when you do that, the universe will respond. So I encourage you to stop waiting for the external world to change. Don't wait for the circumstances to line up. Begin to change from within. Begin to shift your thought, because your emotions and your energy, and watch as your reality begins to transform. Because your potential is limitless. The only thing standing between you and the life you desire is your own belief in yourself and your ability to unlock that potential. Start now. Believe in the possibility of change, and trust that the universe is on your side. The power is already within you. It's time to unlock it. Self-awareness is one of the most powerful tools you can use to transform your life. It's the key to unlocking your potential and realizing that the power to change is already inside you. When you start to recognize who you truly are, you begin to see beyond the limitations of your past and the identity you've constructed based on old memories and experiences. This recognition of yourself in the present moment is where most transformation live their lives based on the unconscious programming that they've inherited from their upbringing, their culture, and the experiences they've gone through. They don't even realize that these programs are running in the background, shaping their thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. But when you become self-awareness, you step outside of those programs. You begin to observe yourself with a sense of curiosity, like you're looking at yourself from a distance. In that moment, you become the observer of your thoughts and behaviors, and that observation is where the possibility of change lies. The first step in this new journey of transformation is to recognize that you are not your thoughts, you are not your emotions, you are not your body. These are all temporary experiences that you identify with, but they don't define who you are at the core. When you separate yourself from the story you've been telling yourself about who you are, you begin to open up to a new reality, one that's not based on past memories or future projection. This is where you can start to create the future you desire by understanding that the present moment is all you truly have. Most people operate in a state of constant reactivity. They react to external events, to the people around them, and to the circumstances they find themselves in. This is the result of a mind that's conditioned by the past. But when you step into self-awareness, you recognize that you are not a slave to your circumstances. You are the creator of your reality. You are the one who chooses how to respond to any given situation. Just about and that is incredibly empowering. It's also about becoming aware of the emotional states you get caught up in. We all have emotional triggers, things that set us off, things that cause us to feel anxious, angry, or afraid. But when you're self-aware, you can observe these emotions without becoming identified with them. You don't have to let them control you. Instead of reacting to the emotion, you become curious about it. You observe it with a sense of detachment. And in that moment, you realize that you don't have to act from that place of emotional charge. This is where emotional freedom begins. And this is where you can begin to be more flexible. You can realize that you don't have to you must understand that your thoughts and emotions have an impact on your biology. They affect your body, your brain, your energy. When you're in a state of fear or stress, your body goes into survival mode and your heart rate increases, your immune system weakens, and your energy is depleted. But when you're in a state of calm, peace, and self-awareness, your body shifts into a state of healing and regeneration. The more you practice this for self-awareness, the more your body begins to mirror that state, the more you create new neural patterns of calm and presence, the more your body learns to stay in that state of ease. The next level of transformation comes when you realize that you can change your biological state by changing your biological state, by changing your mind. Your brain and body are in constant communication with each other. Your thoughts affect your emotions, and your emotions affect your body. This feedback loop can either keep you trapped in a cycle of stress, fear, and dis-ease, or it can lead to healing, vitality, and wellness. The key is to take control of that feedback loop by consciously choosing new thoughts and emotional states. The more you do this, the more you start to reprogram your brain and body to function in a way that aligns with your true desires. This is where meditation comes in. Meditation is the tool that allows you to access a higher level of awareness. It's the practice that enables you to go beyond the surface level thoughts and emotions that dominate your day-to-day life. In meditation, you learn to quiet the noise of your mind and reconnect with your inner self. You become more aware of the present moment, and you begin to witness the habitual thoughts and emotions that arise without becoming identified with them. You know, this detachment from the constant stream of mental and emotional chatter is what allows you to shift your state of being. But it's not just about sitting down in silence for a few minutes each day. True transformation comes when you begin to live in a state of presence, mindfulness, and awareness, not just during meditation, but in every moment of your life. When you're walking down the street, when you're interacting with other people, when you're facing challenges, this is when the practice of self-awareness really matters. It's about staying conscious in every moment, observing your thoughts and emotions, and choosing to act from a place of alignment with who you truly are. As you practice self-awareness, you start to realize that your external reality is simply a reflection of your internal world. The people you attract into your life, the circumstances you find yourself in, the opportunities that come your way, these are all a reflection of the energy and frequency you're emitting. When you're in a state of peace and self-awareness, you attract people and circumstances that align with that energy. When you're in a state of fear or lack, you attract more of the same. Personal transformation is so important. When you change on the inside, everything around you changes. You become a magnet for new opportunities, new relationships, and new experiences. But the key is that these changes don't happen overnight. It takes time and dedication. It takes consistency in practicing self-awareness and mindfulness. It takes courage to face the uncomfortable emotions and thoughts that arise when you start to change. But as you continue to practice, you'll start to notice subtle shifts in your life. Like you'll begin to feel different. You'll notice new opportunities showing up. You'll notice that your relationships are changing, in that you're becoming a more empowered version of yourself. It's also important to realize that TRS transformation is a journey. It's not a destination. It's about evolving and growing into the highest version of yourself. You may not have all the answers right now, and that's okay. What matters is that you're on the path and you're making progress every day. The more you practice self-awareness, the more you cultivate inner peace, the more you will begin to see your external reality shift in profound ways. You don't have to wait for something outside of you to change in order to experience change. When you change, everything changes. The power is within you. The transformation you're seeking is not something you have to find or attain. It's something you have to awaken to. It's about remembering who you really are, beyond the programming, beyond the conditioning, beyond the limitations. You awaken to this truth, you become a creator of your own reality. You are no longer a victim of your circumstances. You no longer allow your past to dictate your future. Instead, you become the author of your own story, and that story is one of limitless possibilities. The more you step into self-awareness, the more you step into your true power. And when you do that, you can create anything you desire.